Welcome to episode 2 of Life of a TV Addict. I'm Sasha,
Notorious FPG here.
and this week we're back to give you our wrap up of all the hours of TV we watched this week.
So, my favorite thing that I watched this week was 24 Legacy. I told you about it last week. I tried to warn you that it was going to be right off the gate, action packed. I hope you watched it because it's going to be some spoilers ahead.
Girl, let me say this. That show was everything and more. I am all in on 24 Legacy. I never saw the original 24.
Okay.
So I really wasn't knowledgeable like how it works or anything. But
Right.
So anybody else who never watched the original 24,
You
and
don't
wanna
have
jump
to
in-
have watched
No,
those
and
to
that's a
watch
good
this.
thing.
Yes. It's a
But-
brand new Jack Bauer-esque character. That's not his name, but that was the infamous from all the others, Jack Bauer.
And that was Keith
Yes.
Sutherland or
Kiefer
something.
Sutherland,
Okay.
yes. So you do have a couple of repeat characters though, because I saw it coming up. We have Tony, which was from our original seasons of 24, but I don't think his character is going to be like you have to have known everything Tony
he
did
was.
up to that point, because they're pulling in so many people because you have these fans who watch The Walking Dead who are just coming over because of this guy. That's
And
our new
let's bring
lead.
him. I think his name is Corey Hawkins or
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
And for anybody who's not familiar with him, he was Dr. Dre in the Straight Outta Compton
yes.
movie, and then he also appeared on The
Walking
Walking Dead with the
a horrible
dreads.
wig.
Yes.
The wig is gone. Thank goodness.
Thank
But
God.
I also heard the one who plays his wife was in one of those Tyler Perry ones. Loving You Was Wrong, or
Oh,
one
I
of
don't
those
watch
recent
Tyler
ones.
Perry movies.
Okay.
We could spend an hour.
No,
on
it was
that
a
crap.
show, one of those shows.
Oh,
that
I
come on
definitely
still.
ain't watching that shit. Oh,
Well,
hell
I
no.
saw on Twitter some people recognized her from something too.
Okay.
So it was interesting. But first of
So-
all, let's talk about I don't know how I feel about the urban storyline though. Why does his brother have to be a drug dealer and all of this whole thing? I don't know how I feel about that.
So, well, one thing I wanted to say before that is that how the show was set up, because when I watched it, I thought that it would be a whole day in one episode, and each
Right.
episode would be a day. However, each
No.
episode is only 1 hour
Yeah.
in his life,
You're getting 24 episodes.
and
you're
it's going to be
get
the one day
right.
in his life.
So we
Okay.
started at noon. So the finale will be from 11 to 12 of the following day. So you get this whole 24-hour span, and everything that you're seeing is happening simultaneously.
In 1
So
hour.
while he's running in the train depot, the other lady is at CTU giving the other guy a shock with the stun gun. This is all happening at the same time.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of the format, but once I said, oh, okay.
Mhm.
But as far as the street episode, now I'm at the street aspect. What I kind of liked it.
I didn't mind it, but I don't know. I get, maybe we'll see how it plays out. I just don't. I want to see, is it necessary, or I will be seriously upset if they just did it because he was a brother. They just had to put in some urban storyline. Maybe it'll come to play down the road where he may have to, bring these guys into what he's doing and fighting the terrorism. If that's okay, then I'm all for it. But do we just have to have a drug dealer just because he's a black guy? That's what I'm questioning.
You know what? I didn't think about it that way. It was actually in the first episode. So now this week, 2 episodes premiered. It was one right after the Super Bowl, and then it was one that
On
came
Monday night.
on
The regular
The
time.
regular time, and the regular time is Monday 8 to
Mhm.
9. So, which I just learned today because I was watching it before we came. But when I watched that first episode, that was my favorite scene when he came back to the projects.
Yeah, I don't mind the whole character development of it. Like
Mhm.
the characters, the Cain killed Abel kind of over a woman.
Well, let's
To
expand
those
on
of you
that.
who haven't watched it, we'll
I was
give you a
about
little
to say
spoiler.
they're brothers. They're actually brothers, and
Yes.
that he stole his brother girlfriend.
That's how it
and married her.
Married her. And she seems to be kind of a badass because when the terrorists came to the house, she was all in for the high-end shooting. Then she
got
kind
the
of fell
Draco
apart.
popping.
But so I'm wondering, did she learn that from him or from the brother with the drug dealer? Because he didn't just start drug dealing. This is obviously something he's built in a little empire.
Yes.
He has a project on lock. Like he has a little empire that he's trying to rebuild that he lost some money on, and he's trying to get back into the heroin game and going to rebuild it on the backs of that. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
You know what I took it as is that sometimes that no matter where you go, you always need to keep a connection to your foundation,
Right.
and I think that in this it's going to be really important because this is the only people like in the projects or whatever that they're not going to be tied into that type of
Right.
world, so he can easily go to, and us black people,
seek refuge.
we don't talk to many people, like we like to mind our business.
Yes.
So if you see 3 trucks come in, yeah, y'all might talk about it with each other, but nobody's calling the cops saying, hey, 3 big trucks just came to the project.
Right.
So I thought it was that he would be able to keep a secret there.
And it also speaks to, no matter what transpires, where you go, you always may need to return home. So
exactly.
You need to keep that line of communication open, whether it's about a woman, money, whatever. When worse come to worse, you always know you can go there and have refuge.
Exactly. I took it that way. And then what was the other part that I really, when he was looking for his friend, who was also in the military, but the wife basically says, like, something's wrong with him. I think he missed killing people. Yeah. He enjoys it.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I guess you would call him a thrill seeker or something like that.
Yeah. It seems that way. And it also, I guess they're trying to do some social commentary too, because the whole police brutality thing, like when he had to get arrested. So he looked more suspicious than he normally would have with his backpack, head down, running. And then the cop comes out and he makes quick work of them and proceeds to tell them that he needs to get into the police precinct to steal money
so he could pay.
I just don't want it to go off the cliff of ridiculousness of you. First of all, I've never seen $2 million, so I'm just wondering how he's gonna carry it by himself. I assume $2 million is more than just I can carry on my own.
I would think so, because if it's like large bills, I don't think it would be.
Yes,
maybe
but
a
how
big duffel
large?
bag.
$100 bills, $10,000 stacks. You still need at least what, 10, 20 pounds? How you gonna carry that running by yourself? I don't know.
Well, he was in the military, so maybe it's easier for him.
Maybe he didn't have his big military duffel though. He had that
I don't know. I
throw.
saw the guy, black youngster, on Instagram, and he pulled out, like, what was it, $500,000 out of MCM backpack. So I mean, if he could fit $500,000, I mean,
I've never seen a $10,000 bill. Maybe they still exist. So maybe if they are in the hugest of denominations, it will be portable. But I just don't want it to go off the side of, what the F?
Yeah, like, what's going on?
Like,
but
is that really plausible? So, I like really the way it's developing. And I like the story of the, vet who needed the mental health, didn't really get it.
Oh my God. What about the student teacher?
Oh, yes.
Aspect of it.
Oh, that.
So what I really enjoyed about the show is that, in my opinion, there was something for everybody.
Right.
So now you have your project scene and the underworld. I would call it the underworld because most of them have that type of scene.
Yeah.
It's that aspect of it with the drug dealers and the projects, and then you also have the terrorist aspect.
Right.
You also have the thrill seeker. I mean, it's just so much
and
going
showing
on.
People you would never suspect, because
exactly.
I really didn't suspect I suspected the student, but I didn't think it was so far as the teacher was involved. I mean, she mentioned her brother and she mentioned that whole thing, but I didn't think the teacher would be involved to the level he was, as far as being sexual with her and everything.
Oh my God. And then I was watching it and he takes him and killed.
Yes.
Oh my God. Like, I couldn't believe he went that far with it.
Yeah. But then also the Jimmy Smith's character and his advisor, like, I thought it was going to be a setup that she went to this mosque. She just happened to be at this mosque when she was in college. You do things, you visit things, you want to explore different religions, different isms or whatever you call them. And now she's really suspected of being the one that broke into the whole system and set up this whole getting his team to be hit by these terrorists. So that's what's
so
coming
I think
up.
that's also another aspect of it, the political thing, and then the ops people that's behind the scenes, and they have the girl where she doesn't go to the traditional Ivy League school or everything, but she's ahead and she catches on to things.
She catches on quick.
I mean, I think it's something there for everybody to get into. So,
and I think it's the only thing I don't like about 24 is that so much changes in an episode. You really can't miss an episode.
Yes.
You can watch it from Monday at 11 until Sunday at 9:59, but you have to have seen that episode because by the next episode you will be totally lost.
So that's one thing I'm thankful that I didn't know it was 2 episodes, so I watched the second episode this morning. So now tomorrow it'll come back because I can see me. Oh my God, when I'm gonna know what happened.
Exactly.
But
and then you'd wonder what happened to the student, and you would have missed all of that just from that one episode. So a lot
connected
of
some of the dots about what's going on. Yeah. So 24 Legacy, I'm really all here for.
Oh, I'm glad. One of my recommendations
from last week. Yes, we gotta get a bell or something.
Yes, exactly.
One of the other dramas that I'm into, and I didn't mention it last week, and I don't know how, is This Is Us. And
that made my list too.
Oh, okay.
Great minds, great TV minds think alike.
This Is Us. I was seeing the commercial everywhere, hearing about the show everywhere, and then my mother told me, you got to watch this show. Yeah. So I started to watch the show. I was all the episodes behind, like maybe 5 or 6. So I started to watch the show. By the 3rd episode, I had to grab some Ben and Jerry's. And like digging because I was all up in my feelings. Yes. So just a little background about what the show is about is basically a flashback between I guess like the 1970s or something. Yeah, and the couple. And the 80s. And what's her name? Is it Mandy Moore?
Mandy Moore, and I always ruin his name, but it's like Milo Ventimiglia
from Heroes. Yes. And what was he
with his crooked mouth? I love his crooked mouth.
Oh yes. I forgot what show he was on recently, but he's from Heroes.
Yeah, he was originally one of the Heroes.
And then they're this couple, and back in the 70s, they get pregnant, and they're supposed to have triplets. Right. So then you flash back, and you see, you go forward, and you see these other characters, and it's
yeah, they didn't connect to you that it was a flashback in the first episode, which I like. Yes. But at first, I was lost. I was like, who are these people, or how are we going to connect them? So I think it was like the 3rd or 4th episode.
That's why I said by the 3rd episode, I had to go get the Ben and Jerry's.
Is when we finally connected that these are their parents that they're flashing forward. And then you're like, well, where'd they get this black brother from? Story of one of the triplets dies. And at the same time, an abandoned black baby was brought into the same hospital. And one of the doctors, which was one of my favorite quotes, he said, you will be making lemonade from life's sourest of lemons. And I just love that that's what took them into making the decision to make the black baby their triplet.
So, I didn't catch on until the 3rd. And what connected it for me was that when they were in the hospital and it's a fireman there and it's a dad there and then somebody pulls up a cigarette, I'm like, oh shit, these are those people. Yeah. And so then that brings it all together. Yeah. But basically, so they're twins. Right. And then the baby that they adopted, and they're all raised together. They're all born on the same day. And it basically takes you through their lives and how they connect. So they have the one brother is an actor.
He's an actor. He was on a very famous show that he wasn't proud of.
The Manny.
He wasn't very proud of it. So he's actually taking steps to go to Broadway, and which I understand the criticism because even I've criticized people who have not maybe had the best of careers. All of a sudden you flock to Broadway to have your, come to Jesus moment.
Exactly.
So I've criticized people in the same way. So I kind of like the way that story is headed. But
what was better than this week, he was telling a guy about, he was like, usually I just come out and then I see a girl, I get a drink, and then I wake up and there's 2 girls in my bed and all of this. And the guy is just sitting there like,
exactly.
Why am I not living that life?
Did you recognize the infamous Marla Gibbs? That was the woman sitting there at the booth?
No.
That was Miss Marla Gibbs, honey. Yes.
Oh my God.
She said, were you the Manny? Give me your autograph. That was Marla Gibbs.
Oh my God, I must have missed that part. And then they have the sister, and she's obese, and she struggled with this her entire life.
Okay, as a fat girl, notorious FPG, fat pretty girl. If you didn't put it together yet, I take issue with her sometimes because it's all about, like, from what we've seen, she did not have any PTSD from her childhood. Her parents were very supportive. Mm-hmm. Now, she may not have always felt it, like when her mom she'd pull out her mom's clothes to put on and it was too small for her. But that wasn't her mother's doing. That was her shortcoming and her putting it in her mind that I'm not the same as you. Mm-hmm. But her father was very supportive, I think. So I'm like, you can't put this weight thing. You were fat before he died, so it can't be his death. So I'm just waiting to see how they're going to put this, because I'm like, she's too obsessed with it to me. And we haven't seen where the disconnect is from her traumatic life to making this about her just not being fat and liking food.
Okay, so, well, I took it because as another fat girl,
Harley.
By the grace of God, I'm not 500 pounds because I'm eating donuts every whatever. But it's something that's constant with you. You know, right. You're always thinking about what's the next diet. And if somebody tells you, oh, I drink cayenne pepper and lemon juice, you do that. Right, and it's always an ongoing issue. Yes. So I saw it as that when her brother fired her and said, you need to live your own life. Because at one point, her brother's life was her life. Right. And that's how that took her mind off of it. Mm-hmm. She only focused on him. When he said, no, you need to live your own life now. I'm firing you. It's like, what else do I have? Right. I don't have anything else. Right. So this became her thing. That's how I took it.
Okay, I could see that more as what becomes what but she did find another job right away. It's not like she just decided to. Yeah. So it's not like she just decided to go on a retreat and,
Well, now she is.
Now she's on this retreat, which, again, I'm like, as a single fat girl, I need to know where she's meeting all of these guys. Because you go to the fat camp, this one's coming on to you. You have Toby, who's trying to propose to you. And I'm like, where are all these fat lovers? Because I don't see
you send some of them my way? Like, just two, maybe? So, but that's what I took that as.
And I know that they said, so she's going to lose the weight because that was written into the contract. As I read an article, they said, as the actress who signed on, you had to agree to lose weight throughout the show.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes. So she will be losing weight. First, I already think she wears a little bit of a suit.
Because it's too much.
Her body looks so disproportionate.
Yes. Okay.
When she was doing that scene in the fat camp with the leggings on and stuff, you could tell that was not her style.
Hold on, when she was in the fat camp and she got down on the floor, all I was thinking, now how the F she gonna get up? That's all I kept thinking about was like, I want to see her get up from this sitting position. I want to see this.
I did like the exploration of the Duke character though, because there is a, I guess, perception that, fat girls are hard up for guys. Mm-hmm. So he seems to be living the life of the bachelor.
So he's a chubby chaser.
Exactly. Okay. Because he seems to tell everybody to come on to cabin 13 to get service. I'm like, does he discriminate? Like, have we all tested out cabin 13?
Y'all like to eat. You should like eggplant too.
I'm like, okay, I see where that's going, but I'm like, ugh. How you going? You can't cheat on Toby. Toby is just too good.
Yeah, but I find Toby a little annoying at times.
At times, yes.
It's just a little much. Like, simmer down. Yeah. Simmer down.
Did you ever watch The Nick? No. Toby was in The Nick. And that's where I fell in love with Toby. But he played the Nick is set in the 20s, so he played a ambulance driver. But the ambulances then was horse-drawn carriages. And he was Irish, and he was a big burly dude, and he fell in love with a nun, and he did this whole accent. And I didn't recognize him at first because in the Nick he had all his beard. But then I was telling my mother, I was like, I think that's our guy. And I went back and forth, and I said, yep, that's him. So he's really good. I like him from that. So, but he was not as big as he is in the Nick. He was more solid, less flab and fat. I don't know if he's wearing a suit too. But
Maybe. So then the other thing I wanted with the
wait. I'm not. We still gotta talk about William on This Is Us.
That's what I was about to say. I'm not finished with This Is Us.
We can't move on
girl, no.
I exercise my demons about William. I'm just so distraught about his going down, and if we lose him before the end of this, I mean, I'm assuming we have to before the end of the season.
So William, just for people, to catch up with, and who's not, I don't follow the names that well, like me, right. Is the black.
He found his
we could call them the triplets,
father.
Yes,
right.
That he found out who his biological father was, and found out that his mother also knew the biological father and kept it.
His adopted mother.
His adopted mother. I'm sorry. His biological mother is dead, and she kept it from him for his whole entire
over
life.
35 years, because
they're like 36 or
37
something like
now,
that.
Yeah.
So the dad comes back and to his life, and the dad, of course, was on drugs and things like that. But then as it goes on, we find out that the dad is gay and has this gay lover, and he also has cancer.
Yes.
So
I love William. I love the whole dynamic, and it's really going to come to a head when the son has to deal with this, because he's not dealing with it. He's not processing it now. He doesn't want his girls to think about it. He has 2 daughters.
He's always trying to find a new doctor.
The mom is trying to process them. She's like, we'll make memory boxes, and the father's not hearing any of it.
Whatever this actress' name is, the one who plays his wife, I love her. When I say I love her,
my mother thought they were married in real life at first.
Because of the chemistry. So
yes.
when they lay, one of my favorite scenes from the show is when they lay in the bed, and he's like, he asked her, like, what's going on? And she was like, you want me to keep it real? And he's like, yeah. She said, I'm thinking about your crackhead daddy sleeping in our baby girl's room or whatever. And he was like, damn. I mean, I love
keep it that real.
Yes. And then on one episode, she tells him, like, I got some medical marijuana. And she's like, well, how about I put those 2 breasts to sleep and I'll bake us some brownies right now. I mean, I really love her. And I think that she brings something, and I'm going to go there, as a black actress on TV, that she's bringing something different. That, okay, not all of us act really ghetto, and maybe you have some of those aspects, but there's a balance.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be either all the way ghetto, reality, TV, trashy.
Or even just plain and simple code switching. Like,
exactly.
When she leaves the house, she is her professional self. She braids is pulled back into a well-respected manner, and you can't tell. When she's home, they're down, they're sister girl. She's giving him all of her black girl realness,
black girl magic. That's what we call it. But I think I love the way.
Yeah, and
I love the portrayal.
Yeah, I love the dynamic between them too. I love him. He was very.
I like him, but
Shelton Brown, I believe is his name.
Yes, because he was on the People versus.
He was on O.J. Simpson as Chris Darden, and I always thought his lips. But they seem to have gotten it under control. I don't know if that was what the Chris Darden character they was trying to portray.
What is wrong?
He always looks so
TV
dry.
with black dark skin. Like, we need that Vaseline. Come on, don't try to go get coconut butter. Whatever you're trying to get, just get us that good old Vaseline. Keep a jar around, petroleum jelly, and we'll handle that. But his character, the only thing I feel is that it's not as great a portrayal as hers is, because like usually we have either that overachiever black or your underachiever black. There's really no middle.
Yeah.
And
I thought about you watching it though, in the comparison between him and the guy on
Blackish. That's where I was about to go with that. But
I thought about you when I was watching it on Tuesday.
I was about to say, like,
they are the opposite sides of the same coin, literally.
Yes. And I think that even Dre on Blackish, which is Anthony Anderson's character, I think that he's providing a good medium. Yes. Like, I'm successful, I'm professional, I make money, but I also have these things that, I still have going on. So, but yeah, This Is Us is like my fave.
Oh, I love it. I love the doctor. Every episode has a teaching moment, but it also has a, Lord, y'all gonna have me crying again moment. Even this last one, when Miguel, who we find out in the future, after Milo's character has died, remarries to the mom, Mandy Moore's character.
But wasn't
when
that
they got a
weird?
divorce. Yeah, I find it weird. I'm interested to see
they divorced
him and his wife. So this episode this week, him and his wife announced their divorce.
Okay.
So
yes, I saw that.
And he in there talking about it to Milo's character. He said, "Everybody's not as perfect as you guys."
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we found out a couple episodes that the father died. So it's like I'm be interested to see if it was just a
he always
seemed
infatuated with her because he always told her, "What are you talking about? You have a wonderful wife at home." He was always, and I don't know if he was low key like looking at her all the time.
Right. Well, I'm thinking that's what we're gonna say. I'm wondering.
I would like to know that too because it was shocking. Well, how we find out that she married her husband's best friend is that one day she shows up at the black son's house. And he's right by her side, and the kids say, "Grandpa," and you're like, "Oh, shit!"
Exactly. That's exactly what you thought. Like, oh, damn.
So, but yeah, This Is Us is like my fave. Get up in my feelings drama.
Yes.
Get the Ben and Jerry's because I already know.
Like I can't watch it on Tuesdays because sometimes I'm just not here because I know it's going to take me somewhere. I don't know where it's going to take me, but it comes on Tuesdays at 9. And sometimes I just can't, and I'm like, I'm just going to watch it on Hulu later when I'm feeling, when I have some time and I'm just looking for something to chill with. And I feel like going there if it's going to take me there. Sometimes it just takes you there and laughing, but a lot of times it takes you to a place with your own family. You put it on the same parallel, and it's just like, oh,
it just get me in my feelings. If I ain't crying, or I'm like, oh my god, whatever.
I hear you.
So, what other dramas do you have for this week?
Well, I need to get into How to Get Away with Murder because so much transpired. This show reminds me of Game of Thrones, where you'll give me a storyline and then it comes back.
Hold on. I gotta stop you there. Don't you dare ever compare anything to the legacy of the Game of Thrones.
But you have to understand what I'm saying. When we were getting that whole story in Game of Thrones with the uncle, I had to go back and read who the hell the Bean's brother, the guy who played Bean, or in the first episode, the guy who died. I can't remember his name because it was so many damn episodes ago. The father, the Snow guy, the main Snow character, Ed, right? His brother. I totally forgot that this mofo went over the wall and was with till he came back.
The White Walkers.
Yeah. And then this dude just walks in. I'm like, who the f*** is this? I had to go back and read from 2 seasons ago to remember. And that's how I am with How to Get Away with Murder now. Like, when her mother
you have to go back
walked
to
in,
some
I'm like,
episodes.
who the F is this man? We met him one time 2 seasons ago. Am I still supposed to remember who he is? So that's what I mean with it. Whereas it's so many storylines, they can't address everything in one episode.
Do you think it's overkill though?
I think it is a bit much.
I was thinking the same thing. I think it's going a little.
I can't focus.
Much.
It's going too octopus. Every legs in every which
and the
way
stories
direction.
aren't being fully developed anymore. Right. It's more like shock. Let's get more. Let's get more. And it's like, calm down, relax. Let's get like maybe 2 or 3 of these good ones going.
Exactly.
And we're even moving away from with the first season where they would have
class. These motherfuckers don't go to class.
They like med school on the game. Remember the game? And they called it med school because she never went to school. Oh my god.
They haven't been to class all season. Now, granted, their teacher is in jail, so they can't go now. But she wasn't in jail last season up until December. They didn't go to. We had very few scenes of them in class then.
Oh my!
And I mean, I've never been to law school, so I guess at some point classes stop and you're working in the courtroom. So maybe that's the.
Oh hell no!
Okay,
like,
thank you.
You
So,
get a semester off to go to court. Like,
I'm like, it's just too much for me to follow at times, and I need a better recap.
Yes, I was gonna say that with the first season, remember there used to be one case where they would had a client and that would change every week.
Exactly.
But then the underlying stories, and it seemed like we moved away from that.
So far away.
And I'm like, well, I like that aspect of it because it gave you that old Law and Order and the other things.
And it went away. It went with the title because it wasn't only just them getting away with murder. It was the cases. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. How are they getting away with murder too? The cases that they were taking.
So I thought it was just me. When I watched it, I was like,
yeah.
And I'm like, is it just me?
I'm going to finish this season, but just like Scandal, I'm not sure
Scandal
how we
jumped.
back.
Let me tell you, I've been on Scandal. Scandal jumped the shark when the season started and she was running and sweating and she's running.
She got kidnapped. Yes.
And I said, okay, Shonda. I chucked the deuce. I was like, I'm out, Shonda, because you want some bullshit now. I ain't got time for it.
Yeah.
I don't want How to Get Away with Murder to go that way.
I agree.
And I think that, and I'm finding this with a lot of shows, and my daughter and I were talking about it because she, I watched Empire, which you never watched. I watched it the first season. I think maybe the second season, and then I was just out mid-second season. And I told her, I said, she like, they need to let me write for the show because why is it getting so bad? It seems like the more successful a show gets, it gets more attention and then it gets more money and then they bring in different people.
Right.
And it's like, idiots, the thing that made it successful, you're losing. Exactly. And it seems like with How to Get Away with Murder, with every Emmy nomination, every Emmy win, we're getting further and further away from what
Viola can still act her ass off.
Yes.
Snot bubble, whatever. She is acting.
No, all the actors are doing their job.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's
the writers
that
are
I don't even know
asleep.
that it's Shonda necessarily. Like,
now hold on. Let's go there. You really think that Shonda is really involved with the day-to-day of these shows now, and she not back somewhere counting her damn money? She like Mr. Scrooge just swimming through the shit all day. She like, I ain't got time. Whatever y'all talking about.
But I also don't think she wants to see her babies fail. And because now she's going into more like, now she has this one show that's doesn't even have too many black characters on it. All the black characters are sub characters.
Is it the second season? And everybody said it sucked. And I'm like,
my mother started watching the first season and was like, this shit is horrible.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how it got a second season, but
because how.
Well, I know because she's Shonda. And yeah. I'm here for it. She's got a new show coming, I think, with Lovey, Absolutely Lovey. She wrote a book, I Can Judge You, and they're developing something for TV. So I like to see where that goes.
Well, she better what she needs to be doing is working on How to Get Away with Murder and fixing that shit.
Well, I'm thinking two things that they could do with this. One, after this last episode, I'm not sure Wes is really dead.
No, he's not.
I think he's in witness protection.
Exactly.
And
spoiler alert.
Hashtag spoiler alert if it comes true. If it don't come true, you didn't hear that here. But to me, it's like it's becoming so obvious now that he may not actually be dead. That I need a twist. I need him to either be dead or get killed in something, because now it's just seems to be so obvious that he probably isn't. Losing the body and you still trying to go,
girl. And like my co-host on the other podcast said, as my eyes roll in the back of my head. Girl, I'm like, I just was watching this shit and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's just like bad.
Yeah.
And then,
no, I'm with you, and I'm going to finish out this season, definitely. But it
seems like it's becoming Scandal to me, where I'm just watching because I know everybody else is watching, and then they're going to talk about it, and then I won't be involved, and then I'm going to be upset. So I just watch it. Yeah. Like under duress.
Like, okay, Scandal, I was done last season. I just felt it was too much. It was ridiculous. I'm not coming back. My mother's like, you got to watch the first episode. It was so good.
Wait, is she back on?
She never left. She was still on the Scandal train, pulling into every station. But, so, I watched these, I guess it's been 2 premiere episodes. And Cyrus is still my favorite. Mm-hmm. I live for Cyrus. I live for his shadiness. I live for his BDSM sort of sex life. I live for all of that. But you can't make Cyrus the good guy now. It's not going to work, which seems like what they're trying to do. They're trying to make Melly president. Okay, I never thought that was really a good way to go. But with the election, I guess they were trying to tie it into reality.
With Hillary.
Right. Her opponent was literally Donald Trump with a country twang, practically. So.
Damn, even our engineer had to say, "Oh God, do you even watch Scandal, Craig?"
I know what episode. I saw the episode where she lost the election, and right then and there, I said, "Okay,
you're literally, emulating it."
Yeah. So
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to finish this season. I mean, first of all, they're getting horrible. This was when I guess Carrie was still pregnant with the second one. So they're trying to hide this pregnancy. And she's like wearing these big old, the capes are so huge. She looks like she should be Macho Man Randy Savage. Like they're just so huge and sparkly. And I'm just like, I can't.
Why? Either tell her, listen, get pregnant on your own damn time. Or make her pregnant in a show.
Yeah.
Like, what's the big deal?
But that's usually really the death knell of jumping the shark when you have babies.
No, maybe she could be like, is the president guy the white guy she was in love with? He's still there or not?
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay. They get pregnant and then she like, oh, what am I going to do with this baby? Because now either you come with me and then she hide it. Or I don't know, Todd, do something.
Yeah,
Scandal.
I may be done. I'm going to try, but I may be done. This season just started. I could really give it up and I won't really be missing anything.
I don't think I'm going to get back onto Scandal then because I haven't heard. And you know what with Shonda Rhimes, because Grey's Anatomy. So I got into Grey's Anatomy late. And somebody gave me the DVDs and I was watching it on Netflix just to catch up and get, I was like maybe 3 seasons behind. And I was all in. Yeah. Then
the airplane crash
won the awards and things. I'm like, here we go.
Right.
With Izzy and it just became a train wreck.
I never got into Grey's Anatomy. I found the girl annoying, and then it was Falcon Crest. It was Dynasty. It was every season we had to have a catastrophe. It was a train wreck. It was a plane crash. Something plowed into the hospital, and all these people they got to sit. I'm like, okay. I used to St. Elsewhere's gone. Chicago, I can't do it. I can't. So I never got into Grey's Anatomy.
So I guess the question is Shonda...
Has Shonda jumped the shark?
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's the question. Has Shonda jumped the shark? I really can't say no. She's gonna have to bring me something totally
and it ain't the catch. So honey, that is not happening. It's never gonna happen. Let it go.
I mean, I think her name still carries a lot of weight, and
of course.
I mean, I think just on the respect of these shows, she'll get new opportunities for new stuff. But she got to go back to the drawing board and come up with either break this up, start from the ground up. I wouldn't even mind if on How to Get Away with Murder she got rid of everybody. Viola comes back and gets a whole new crop of students.
Yes.
Just
so I was going to say that also. I'm not ready for her out of the franchise with the catch. I'm not even talking. I'm acting like that shit don't exist. Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and How to Get Away with Murder. I would really like her to focus on How to Get Away with Murder. Yeah. And bring it back to its glory.
Exactly.
And revamp it. Do whatever you have to do, but get it back there. Yeah. Lose these jail scenes. Everybody, ever since Orange is the New Black, everybody wants to do that. Oh God, I'm over it. Let that go.
Viola. I love Viola. Love her. I do not need to see her broken down in every episode.
Exactly.
Every season we know what she looks like. So are we supposed to be giving props because she goes on there without her wig? Are we supposed
we already we established that the first season where she said, and that was one of Viola's conditions, she was like, I am not going to have this wig on my head all the time. Like, there will be a time when I go to bed or something, the wig will come off, the makeup will come off, and I will be me. We got it. We were fist high, pics and everything else high for her. Black girl magic. Okay, we know now. We over that shit. Let it go. Like, oh my God, that was a train wreck. I just want that hour of my life back.
I'm going to tell you who's acting her ass off, though, Miss Jane Pittman.
Is that the black girl?
No, the one who plays her mother Her name just went out my head. when you said that.
Cicely Tyson.
Cicely Tyson, yeah.
Okay.
Because Cicely Tyson, like 90-something years old.
Yes, God. Yes,
And when
God.
you see
Come
her
through.
out on, red carpets and stuff, she is standing up straight. Her hair ain't got not a piece of gray showing. And then you see her on How to Get Away.
And she's all broken down.
Yeah,
and
she's literally Miss Jane Pittman at 96
exactly.
years old.
Oh, I love her.
I'm like, you are giving me all the life. Because when you leave here, I know you stand up straight, put on your good church wig, and you ain't even beat for all of this.
Well, my favorite character still is the white guy, and now he's messing with the black girl.
Okay, yeah.
I really like him. Like, he's quirky, he's funny.
He got on my nerves that first season, though.
I like him.
He got on my nerves that first season. He was always dancing. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe because I was watching him in Orange is the New Black at the same time, so I was like...
But I don't watch Orange is the New Black because I have an issue with that. And when the season comes, I'm going to give you free reign to talk about it. But my issue with it is that I'm a Dateline in 2020 freak, as you know, in 48 hours.
Yeah. So
the backstory is that this white girl claims she didn't know that she was involved with this drug ring.
Right.
She was on a plane full of pounds and pounds of marijuana. And if you ever smell some freaking OG Kush or whatever they're smoking now, loud, oh my God, there is no way you could have mistaken that.
Yeah.
And she just didn't know. And she didn't know. And she was just so, and she was oblivious.
Right.
And so she gets caught up and she blames somebody, this other girl, an Asian girl or whatever it is, and they give her like a year in prison and then they put her on house arrest, whatever. One came before the other.
Right.
And then she goes to prison, like a white girl, and writes this fucking book about how prison is so exciting and entertaining and all of these stories she has to tell. And I'm like, really? Really? I don't see anything entertaining about prison. Like, I've been over the prison story since Oz.
Yeah.
Unless you want to give us a real look into this shit, get out of here. But I just had issues with her and the whole storyline. And I was like, because in my opinion, and it's not a race thing, it's not pulling a race card. If she was black, the shit wouldn't be funny, the shit wouldn't be entertaining, and she wouldn't have had the opportunity.
I know what you're saying. I hear you.
Let me get off my soapbox now.
No. I hear you because, but as our pink people go, they will always turn the dollar on some stuff that we've been experiencing forever.
Exactly.
And they'll always find a way to make money off of it.
Because how many black women have been caught up in something that they really weren't aware of, and maybe tied by a man or something else like that, and they get caught up. But that's why I'm not here for her.
I understand it, but I guess as much of a main character as she is, the surrounding character, if it was not for the people that I'm assuming she has based all the people she really met, that she's based these characters on, the show would not be 1/10 of what it is if it weren't for those people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I guess the fact that she was in a federal and she met people from different types of
states and everything.
Yeah, and they did different types of things. Like, it wasn't just everybody was a drug, everybody was a murderer. So if it was not for those characters, the show would not be nearly as popular as it is. Because
but when that time comes,
I'm
gonna let you have free. I'm gonna let you have at it, girl. Have at it. But that's why I'm not here.
I hear you.
So we're gonna wrap up the drama section before we jump into anything else. We discussed this. I called you after I did the podcast yesterday. My friend told me Billions is back.
Yeah.
I said, what? I gotta go home and watch this. So then I text you and said, Billions is back. Get on.
That's all I needed to hear.
So I watched the whole episode. And then
too.
we just learned that was an early premiere.
It's an early
available
premiere. It doesn't come on. If you subscribe to Showtime, you can get it.
And I have Comcast, so Xfinity, whatever they call them.
Yeah, it's on. Well, it's even on their app. So if you just subscribe to Showtime now, or as long as you have a Showtime subscription, depending on Hulu, all of that, it's on. But if you have no access to Showtime, your best bet is to go to YouTube and find a legal upload of it and watch it.
Oh my God!
Not that we promote.
I'm about to say
like
the views and opinions expressed by Notorious FPG are those, and those are only. We are not liable if you commit any illegal activity. Okay, just that disclaimer.
You better get to it while it's up there. That's all I'm gonna say. Because when they find out, they're gonna shut it down.
Oh my God! So what we're gonna do, because we decided that everyone didn't have access to it, we're gonna table Billions
We're
for
gonna
next
put it on ice
week.
Next week, we'll give you a chance to get to your prospective subscribers and watch. But if you needed a little backstory, so Damian Lewis, who I don't know what you first saw him in, but I first saw him in Life.
Oh no.
And Dreamcatcher, the movie, the Stephen King movie.
Oh no.
Those were the first two things I ever saw him in. And in Life, he played this LA cop who had a life-changing experience, and then he was investigating crimes. And it only was like maybe a season and a half. I don't even think it got a full 2 seasons. But he was so magnetic, and his just a ginger. And then I realized, oh, and he has an accent too. It was just like, oh.
He does?
Yeah, he's from Britain. Yeah.
I don't like him.
What? And he's got good teeth. You gotta like him.
Taking all the damn American jobs. Make America great again.
You wouldn't even know if I hadn't told you, because he does a great job. They do better accents of us than we do.
We do, exactly. But you know where I found out the first time I seen Homeland.
Okay. So
he was on Homeland.
Probably for a lot of people that was their first time.
Exactly. And he's Crazy Carrie's baby father.
Yes.
So
Brody.
Yes. And so he's on Billions, and Paul Giamatti.
Yes.
Let me tell you how my love for him is. I mean, as an actor, fantastic.
Yeah.
I think he made this movie, oh my God. And what was the movie called? And he was like a wrestling coach, and he was a lawyer also.
Oh. I know what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And I felt like he got jerked that year from the Oscars, and I just was like so angry. Yeah. I wanted to start a campaign for him, but
I mean, I can't think of nothing that I've seen him in that I'm like, he didn't
horrible. Give it. Yes, like he's always given it.
Even
his
in
all.
his funny characters, like he puts it on
from Big Mama's house.
Yeah,
like
he wears it all.
He earns his check, so he's on there.
So Brody is a hedge fund manager, and he has made lots of money. Given the title of the show, Billions, he's made that much and plus some. Paul Giamatti works for the SEC or the Attorney General's office. Not really sure.
The Attorney General.
Okay. So he crucifies, literally corrupt people. And
oh, wait, hold on. We got to add that Paul Giamatti's wife works for Axe, and that's what's his name? That character, the hedge fund manager. His name is Axe on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she
Axe
works.
Capital is the name of the company. Right?
Yeah, she actually works for him.
She's his on-site, at-will psychiatrist, but not only for him, for all the people that work for him.
Yes.
And the big turning point in the story where you're rooting for Brody, because not Brody, Axe. That's his name. I'm sorry. Brody is Homeland. Axe is Billions. You're really rooting for him, hoping he's not dirty. And then you realize that he was managing NYPD, NYFD, hedge funds, and there may have been some impropriety. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, did he? Didn't he? I'm not really sure. He could have, but I still love him so much.
I was about to say, I loved him so much. I didn't even care. I was like, I don't care if you're doing illegal shit. Exactly. Fuck that. Fuck the feds. Fuck the SEC. That's how I felt. Yeah. Because I just was rooting for him.
Like, you're rooting for him, but then he's so over the top with his money. I mean,
but I love it. I live for it. Oh my God.
So over the top. And the people that work for him are over the top. Mm-hmm. Because I guess you have to have that sort of personality, over the top, to have the confidence to think you know where a stock is going to go. I guess you have to have that kind of. So everybody who works with him is on 10. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I'm still not sure if Brody Axe is guilty or innocent. But I root for him, but I also root for Paul Giamatti, so I don't know.
Well, I'm not rooting for Paul Giamatti because he reminds me of those overzealous prosecutors who they don't care if you're guilty or not guilty. They're so concerned with getting you that they can't see past that point. and I think his wife had brought it up like several times, like get off the case. Get off the case. I make, what did she say? 7 times what you make?
She make a lot.
And she's like, so why should I quit my job? You quit your job.
But don't you think there's the underlying suspicion
that her and Axe were messing around?
That's where I think his zeal came from.
But I think so that was the only thing. I felt like Axe had a respect for her because she wouldn't bullshit him.
Right.
She wouldn't tell him what he wanted to hear. And that may have came from because they're she's a psychiatrist also on the couch, so they have their alone time.
But she was there before the wife was there. She's been with Axe.
Let's talk about that. The wife,
beginning.
The wife. Well, anybody who hasn't watched Billions already and seen any part of it, what happens is that Axe is a partner at this hedge fund. He doesn't actually own it initially.
Right.
Then 9/11 happens. And for some reason, he's the only partner.
Well, he was the only one not in the building
at the time the planes hit.
Right.
So the other partners are killed in the
he
terrorist
becomes
attack,
the sole owner,
and so he becomes the sole owner.
But in his he takes care of all the widows. He took care of like he set up college funds for the kids. But there was some kind of suspicion
that he may have had some knowledge about it. Was kind of weird.
I'm wondering how they got to that. Like,
well, you know how I got to it. He was on Homeland. He was a terrorist. He comes to Billions. Of course, he knew about it. Girl, let me tell you.
Brody didn't start out a terrorist. Stop it. Oh,
that's how he knew about it. Crazy Carrie helped him with it.
I can't with you. I mean, Showtime is not HBO. Their shows do not overlap that much.
But it was in the first season. It was some kind of, and it was like, well, did he know? How did he know? Why wasn't he?
How did he know not to go to work that day?
It was kind of weird, and I guess they just wanted to put it out there to get you to think that way. And then he ends up marrying one of the partners.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a whole weird thing.
I don't know. I mean, I root for him. But he is such a dick on this show.
Yes.
We forgot the most important part. Paul Giamatti and his wife are BDSM participants.
Oh, yes. And
he likes to be dominated.
But the only thing I'm like, the golden shower scene, that was a bit much. They could have just like heard and I was like, I got it, cut. But I hope they don't go too far in it. I see what they were trying to do to let us know that even though he's this powerful man while he's out in the world, he really enjoys being dominated when he's home and in his private.
Yeah.
I got that part, but I just didn't need oh my God. Oh my God.
But I love the whole permission thing. Like when he went in last season, when he went to the dungeon and he was there without permission. Oh my God. The mistress was like, does your wife, did you get permission to be here? But everybody knows that he's a submissive, and it's like, whoa.
Okay, can we have a semi-squirrel moment?
Okay.
I wouldn't call it a full squirrel moment.
Okay.
But the commercial during the Super Bowl. So it was one with the T-Mobile and Verizon. And where is this girl from? It's Saturday Night Live. Is that where she's from?
Well, what she's on now is actually Last Man on Earth.
Last Man on Earth. Yes. So she goes into the room with the guy. He like, Verizon, and he like, you want more fees, you want taxes, you've been a bad girl. And it's like 50 Shades of Grey. Oh my God. And they were like, unless
like 48.
Yeah, and they were like, unless you're into some kinky stuff, come to T-Mobile. Yeah. No, unless you like to be punished.
But they were all over Twitter with this whole thing too.
Really? Oh,
yes,
that was
they were going in on
hilarious.
Twitter with these same kind of jazz. It was just like, oh, this is awkward.
Yes. I was like, what? But okay, now back to the Billions.
But I understand, like some parts of the BDSM lifestyle are very uncomfortable, not just for the people experiencing it, but to watch. So it's like, oh, she burned. Oh, she's gonna pee on him. Oh, wait.
Yeah, and I don't want people to check out of the show because the thing is that
the shock value.
Exactly, and that it may get awkward, and you like, you know what? I don't even want to. But so hopefully they will give us enough without going so far into it.
Yeah.
That's all. Hopefully that
spoil.
happens.
We can't say anymore because since we watched the first
First
episode,
episode,
we
I
do
know.
a little bit. But we'll give you a chance to catch up. Hopefully, you'll be right there, February 19th. I believe it comes on after Homeland. So Homeland's at 9, and then you got Billions at 10.
At 10. And then last season, the last thing I'm gonna say about it is that we find out that Axe was basically on top of everything, that he was aware about everything. So you always think Paul Giamatti is getting ahead, and that but it's like Axe is always one step, which I love. I love. If you're gonna have a villain, I like a smart. villain.
Yeah, let him be on his P's and Q's and know everything. I mean, he had a hand in every department. He had somebody who could get to somebody that could let him know what's coming down the pipe.
Exactly, and I love that about him. Okay, so now we want to go. Where you want to go next? Comedies?
Or we could go to. You want to close with?
Do you have any
reality?
more? Yeah, I think maybe. Oh, you want to go to reality now?
Let's do reality.
Okay.
Because I got to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Did it come on? But
it comes on tonight.
Okay.
But the preview is Miss Kim Zolciak. Well, Bierman returns.
Why?
Because you got to promote. Don't be tardy. Come on now.
Bravo. Listen, hold on. I just got to speak to Bravo and Andy specifically.
Specifically to you, Andy. Even if he doesn't do it that well.
Yes. If you have any money lying around that you're just like, I can't with all this money. What to do with it? Like, oh, just take it, Kim. Take it. Call us.
Not only that, if you have an open time slot, you need a half hour. People's couch just ain't what it used to be. We would love to come and talk to the show for you.
Hold on. Now, let me tell you my issue with that. A long time ago, before I started law school, me and my mother used to literally sit around, watch TV, and just pop shit.
Yeah.
I said, we should start a show like this and just do it. Then I saw that. I'm like, these fuckers must have been in the room with us. Like, how, Sway? How did they get it from us? But go ahead. I'm still not right with Bravo because of that. But it seems like they're running out of things to do with their money.
They are.
Why are you still giving Kim money in 2017?
People are here for Kim. People are here for her.
Why?
I think because of the whole, she's a woman of a certain age. She done popped out them 4 babies.
No, it's like 6 or 7 of them
6
now.
total. Yeah. It's 6 total. But the 2 oldest ones, they grown. But them little ones, they are too cute for words, number one. They are. And they are so rambunctious, and they look just like Croy. Oh my God.
Well, I like him.
Just like Croy.
I like Croy.
And I was going to say, Croy is like Greg Leaks. Like, he makes Kim more likable. You know what I mean? Like Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. John Legend will put you to sleep. Chrissy Teigen makes him interesting.
Yeah.
You're here for what she sees in him.
But
Croy is like that.
Don't be tardy.
Yeah.
I want to be tardy. Like, give that time slot to anybody.
Yeah. I understand. I don't watch it, but I understand why people are here for it.
I'm not. But so they had 2, what is it, like early peaks or something they call them for Real Housewives of Atlanta because it didn't come on.
So we know that Candy, they're at a function at Sheree's house, it looks like, I think, where Kim is invited and she shows up. And it's apparently after the glamping trip. Because right now, when we come back to this episode, they'll still be glamping. And Marlo is going to cast the worst of shades to Kenya. So this apparently happens after all of that. And Kenya was going at Kim on Twitter about Croy lying about being a $20 million man on the football field. And, of course, Kim says, something really shady about, well, at least I got a husband, something like that. So,
Kenya. Let me tell you. The only reason why I give Kenya more of a pass because it's like she's been in this game so long that she knows she needs to stay relevant so she can stay eating and she doesn't have to do these. At one point she was doing the Booty Pop magazine. Yeah. Oh yeah, she was doing it hot and heavy, and that's when she got the ass shots.
Let's not talk about Twa number 27. What number was we up to?
What was that?
Twa was the movie that she was in, that she was directing and starring and
producing.
Oh
my God, I'm not here for that.
and it had a bunch of sequels too.
It seemed like she does things that she knows will get her what's her name, and she's starting to give me I call it hoe. well, whore. Like I'll do anything for money.
Yeah.
And she's starting to give me that Bethany vibe.
Yeah.
Which I don't like.
Right.
Like have some standards. Like you do certain things, but it's like, nah, I'm not doing that. Picking fights on Twitter. Like you're a woman of a certain age. You shouldn't be engaging in that. This other stuff, I just don't like it.
I think it's just also that she acts one way, but then tells us she's totally not this person. Like, you don't deserve to be dragged by Portia, but every time you open your mouth, you say something that will get you fucking dragged. Mm-hmm. So she's constantly trying to tell us, no, I don't deserve this. I didn't earn this. This man shouldn't be treating me like this. And no man should be putting his hands, but when we see you, I'm like, I don't think he should be hitting you, but I could see, like Chris Rock said, him shaking the shit out of you.
Exactly. She just but it's like, and now before she was doing a lot, and I was here for it.
Now see, Candy always struck me as the money whore, because
what
I mean is she will make money off of anything. You know, Baby Ace got a clothing line. He got a toothing ring.
I reserve my right to invoke the Fifth Amendment about
you can't.
Baby Ace because you
can't. Baby Ace gonna be like Khaled's son and be producing an album in a minute. She will this old lady gang restaurant. Them old ladies didn't want it. Now all of a sudden, you know, she's gonna make them want it.
Well, I don't think that the old lady gang restaurant. I think that was something for Todd to do so Todd could leave her fucking business alone. She like, listen, here, boo. Just peeled off the money, like here go 30 racks. Go entertain yourself, babe. Go entertain yourself. Like, go some fucking where, because I got business to run. She's about her business, and I see her having some standards, and I think that's what's putting her in this, that's what's causing her to get more vocal now. Right. It's like, look, I ain't signed up for the bullshit. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And I just don't see her that way. She's about her money.
Right.
The restaurant is stupid. The title is stupid. The name of it is stupid. The women don't even want to do it. I'm just not here for it. But I think that it was specifically done so that Todd would have something to do besides mind her fucking business.
I actually don't mind the restaurant, but I think they're going about the whole theme wrong. I think they should have did like a soul food buffet kind of thing. Old lady gang. It's a chow line. Y'all had this whole thing with wanted posters and stuff. I like that.
I'm not here for the restaurant, and this is the reason why. Can we find anything else to invest our money in? Every single like it's the same thing. Yeah. Oh, I got a restaurant. First they get a clothing line, a fucking clothes we never see. Then it's a restaurant. Right. Then they make a one hit, and it's all of this. Like, come on, there's other things to do with your money. Yeah. Other than these things. And it's like y'all never get past that because y'all still doing the same things over and over. And I'm like, I'm just not here for it. She's gonna open this restaurant. I'm sure she has some partners or whatever. And then in a month or two, it'll be like T.I. restaurant where the shit'll be closed down. You ain't paying the people. Like, girl, go do something else. Tell Todd to sit the fuck down somewhere, produce another fitness video, and this time get paid for it. I don't know what the fuck. Like, I'm here for Todd. Oh, I'm not here for Todd ever. I'm not. I'm not.
Oh goodness. So real quick, I wanted to get into Black Ink.
Okay, I had.
And the only thing that I need to say about Black Ink is it is really bringing me to the point of diagnosing mental illness with these people involved. Sky,
you don't want to got a PhD. You ready,
girl? I done diagnosed Sky. Sky is just obsessive compulsive. She is narcissistic. She is just, combative, just, passive aggressive. I don't know how many personalities she could have in there. Sky is the receptionist.
Yes. But we discussed that last week.
Yeah, we discussed that last week. But her mental health really is put on display this last episode because she goes from laughing to crying. I think she just really may be bipolar or some sort of just imbalance.
Well, we talked about it. I talked about it previously on another podcast, but because they have this thing going around now on the internet. I saw it. My cousin posted it, but now it's other people are posting it about how the scenes are cut and squished together to make it something. And one of the tell signs were was that Sky's nail polish changes while
Okay.
they're in the car.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm starting not to be here for Black Ink Crew because it's starting to try to be Hollywood without being
Right.
Hollywood. Like,
Okay.
if you're going to put on, fuck that. I'm here for it. Put on.
Right.
But don't put on. And you're
Yeah.
not putting on. Like,
But
give
then
it to me.
But then it becomes a question of, is that them or is that producing saying, how we going to mash this up into an hour? You know, let's cut these scenes together because they kind of go together, still the same topic. And you know what I mean?
Well, that's
Can we
the
blame
producers.
Seas and Sky for that?
Well, no, but that's the producers. But you're giving them the storyline and the
Right.
background.
Yeah.
So if you're going to give us something, give us more.
Right.
Like, give us more. This thing with Sky, I was here for. Like, I was here for her thing with the kids. That was something that really roped me in that season. But these things with the manager, I'm over that shit. Like, that's been done to death.
Right.
I'm over that. Give me more. Give me something new. Give me some. I know what you could do. Do a fucking tattoo on the show. One fucking tattoo. That would be new on Black Ink
Nobody
Crew.
since Nino get tattooed.
And did his tattoo get finished?
She did finish it.
Oh, okay.
think,
I was about
but-
to say, we're averaging like one tattoo a season.
Yeah.
Fucking show me a tattoo. Do something new. Like, I don't know. They just not bringing it enough.
I got you.
The reality, I have Married with Medicine, which I don't think you watch that much. So
I can't get into those ladies. I want to Heavenly and the shade and the drama of it all, but I don't know, something about it just don't connect for me.
this chick, well, Heavenly pulled up in an ambulance to somebody's party. I mean, she be doing the all the time. But they're gonna have their reunion. So the season basically ended. They switched them to Friday. I guess they about to kill them off.
They might be.
And they're gonna have the reunion coming up soon. But the season's over. And I like Married with Medicine somewhat.
I like that it's, instead of calling them housewives or whatever, yes, they're doctors or married to doctors.
Well, some of
or
them are,
something
yeah.
where, you see them, they have these careers. It's not just these, I'm famous for being famous, or I'm famous for fucking
Exactly.
somebody who was famous, and that's my claim to fame now, which is what Love and Hip Hop usually is. I do like that, but
I think that this one, the Married with Medicine, I think that it's shown us because it's like these women are older and they're more mature and they're acting that way.
yeah.
As opposed to where we have the housewives sometimes where they're older and they should be acting that way, but they're
Right.
not acting that way.
Right.
So Married with Medicine, because it's over, I'm not going to get too much into it. Maybe the reunion, you'll check it out. If
I'll
it's
try to
something,
check it out.
we'll get into it.
I mean, I'm familiar with most of the characters, but following the story throughout the season, I didn't. One thing I did want to mention, did you ever, and you probably saw the commercials for it, Vivica's Black Magic?
Yeah, but I'm not here for Vivica. I mean,
I was here for the first episode, but I'm like, you can't make me care about these strippers. I'm just here for the ass. Like, I'm like a man in that respect. I don't want to know about your family. I don't want to know about you a single dad. Just shake that ass for this cash. Why are you trying to make me care for these guys? And
yeah, I'm not
like
here
that
for
was the aspect of it where I was like, through the whole episode, it was like, you really trying to make me love these hoes? Like, and
so maybe she should have did it in a reality type of way where they would be competing.
Something, because just you telling their stories and then the whole, working their way up to a show and getting booked and stuff. But it's like, you're still giving me this whole aspect of their personal lives. And I'm like, when they go on these reality shows, they're not supposed to have connect with that. And I don't know. I was here for the first episode because I was like, oh, it's going to be something. No, it wasn't none of that. And I ain't watched their episode since.
Yeah, I didn't get into it because I wasn't interested. But also, I felt like Miss Vivica, being the vet that she is, that it wasn't going to be too much fuckery.
Right.
Because old girl's a vet. When she was on Apprentice, I think like Kenya and them were kind of pushing her a little bit, but you can see she's a professional.
Yeah,
I mean the girl is a professional, so she was really she's able to manage that. So I doubt we'll see her losing her cool unless she wants us to see losing her cool. Like
right.
The other I had reality was Shark Tank. I know you're not into the Shark Tank.
I like Mr. Wonderful.
I do too. One of my
Which
issues,
one was on Dancing with the Stars? And married the one that was on. She was his partner on Dancing with the Stars.
Is he a white guy?
Yeah,
Robert then.
with the well coiffed hair
And it's brown or something.
Yes.
So it's Robert.
Okay,
And
I liked him on Dancing with the Stars, and I liked that him and his partner married. They were so
Really?
cute. They were so cute together.
So he wasn't married prior to?
Mm-mm. He wasn't married.
Wow.
And he was like courting her on the show, but you're not supposed to be dating. So he would like bring her gifts and da da da.
And she like, and they're paying me a whole $2,000 for this shit.
She
and
went,
you got billions.
Once they got eliminated, I mean, literally, it was probably a second after they announced they was dating. They announced they was dating, and less than a year they were married.
Oh yeah, I would have married.
And if she a bitch about her business, I hope there was no.
Girl, I bet you ain't seen her ass.
Because
she's
she's a woman of a certain age, so I don't even know if they'll have children together. She's not old. She's not like 40s yet, but she still can.
Oh, they're gonna have kids.
So look, if she's
I would get that shit popping right.
Smart.
What? I would have been pregnant at the wedding, but that's just me. I mean,
so I like the two of them. So
all right. Well, I want you to give Shark Tank a
I'll
chance.
give it another look. I'll give it another look.
You know, some of the things, the issues I have with it is about Damon, whatever. But give it a chance, and then we'll see. Of course, our favorite and the fan favorite, Love and Hip Hop New York. So
I really didn't.
What did you call Yen last week? It was Connecticut Yen or White Plains Yen? I think you called it Connecticut
Yen. Yeah. Because I'm not here for it. What happened this week that was worth noting? Anything?
So I just have that, you know, Connecticut Yen pieced it up with Juju, which we knew was going to happen because she didn't want she didn't want those problems. Mm-hmm. Then she sent her pit bull that Sam and them call her Kimbella after Sam.
Oh,
and Sam's mother quickly had to tell her, "You don't want these problems."
Your face just got reconstructed, hon. You don't want it.
Rich being a cornball as always. Like, I'm over him.
Yeah.
The one thing I was really, really, I don't know why I was surprised, but the Peter, Amina, and Tara love triangle. Okay. Finally, Peter stepped up as a man to tell Amina, I would like a divorce. I want to make this work with Tara. And this is what he said. It reminded me of that Adele song. What is that song? And she'd be like, I hear you. And the whole song is like the guy is trying to tell her that he doesn't want to be with her. And she like, I hear the words I made up. And then finally she gets it. Peter's saying, I want to divorce Amina. I want to be with Tara. She's like, you know you don't want that. You want to be, if I move back, we're going to start again. And then he's like, I don't want you to take my kids to LA. I would like my kids here. I know you want me and the kids here. And I'm like, bitch, are you deaf? Like, what are you missing? And then she like, you don't want, and he like, no, you know, I really would like the kid. And she like, so you don't want me? And he like, oh, I really don't want to tell you what you want to hear because I would do that. The old Peter would, but I just, no. Like, and she just was not getting it. I'm like, Mama, come on now.
Was this their last season? Their last episode though? Is it reunion?
No, it was not reunion.
No, okay,
time, yeah.
okay.
Oh, please. But let me tell you. Okay, I'm somewhat looking forward to them ending, but I'm just not looking forward what's coming. Right. Hip Hop Atlanta. I'm just not here for it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just not. Unless Faith and Jocelyn going to get it popping, I'm not here. I'm just not here.
That might be interesting.
Oh yes, yeah. She got the wrong one. If she did, yes, that
coming to clash.
What? So yeah, I just so and then let's quickly get into. So that's the wrap up on the Love and Hip Hop. I mean, like,
I wanted to flash back to one thing from last week since we're moving on. We talked about the Flash.
Yes,
and one of my big things was I miss Grodd. The gorilla.
Yes, and
coming up, starting this week, we have a 2-parter in
and guess
Gorilla City.
Yes! I thought the same thing when you said it. Our engineer
everybody's clapping. Yes,
because last week you said it, and then when I was watching it this week, and I said,
"Girl, me too." I was like,
she is gonna be happy.
I am here for Grodd. I'm here for Gorilla City. I want to see it all. I want to see Harrison Wells, what he's been. This new Harrison in Gorilla City. I'm just here for it. I'm here for the 2 episodes. I'm going to be watching them live, probably. I'm not going to DVR them. I'm going to need to watch them with Twitter as a family. Black Twitter, holla at me.
So let's what I was noticing when I watched Flash, I'm like, remember the first season of Flash, and it looked like they literally went to the Target and got some leotards and put a Flash on it. Yeah. I mean, I say, damn, WB done opened up the budget. Yeah. Oh no, it's not WB, CW.
UP and the WB.
Oh my God! And how weird is it that the young Flash, he actually looks like he could be related to the girl, right?
My mother thinks he looks like one of those Gooding brothers. She said, "Is he related to Cuba?" I was like, "I hope not." Ugh. But yeah, no, him and Joe look alike to me, and yeah, him and Iris. I mean, it's something with them. They all look like they could be a family.
Yeah. Yes. So this week on Flash, it wasn't all of that exciting, whatever. But what's coming up is
it was good story building about Kid Flash kind of coming into his own. Mm-hmm. You know, if they've already decided that he's going to be the one to save Iris from Savitar, him making that step of being able to, you know, go through, vogue through things has made it that much easier. So, and they're trying to line up the things to change the future so Savitar can be defeated and not kill Iris. So that was more what we had character building to that point of the culmination of Savitar and saving Iris. But be damn that. Let's just get to Gorilla City.
So, I was about to say,
let's just get to it.
I'm like, yeah, the Flash, yeah.
I said, we got to.
But when I saw it coming Gorilla, I said, oh my God, she is going to be crazy.
It was so good.
So, let's get into, because we need to get moving, the comedies. Because, you know, Blackish this week.
I thought about you.
Oh my God. It really tackled a topic that, and an issue that we have in the Black community, and why I love the show.
I thought about you.
About the naming. So on this episode, they start the process. They have the gender reveal for the baby, which is similar to my story. They were different age groups, so now they're restarting. So when they had their kids, the gender reveal, that shit was
exactly.
Yeah. And so they go around and they act like they're doing this special thing. They're like, we want a cake, and when you cut it, it's gonna have.
He was like, oh, a sex cake.
They were like, and he was like, maybe a sex, and they were like, oh, gender reveal. Yeah, everybody. It wasn't a big deal, and I had that same experience when I did mine. Like now, the second time I went to do it, everybody does gender reveal. It's like the norm now.
Yes, exactly.
And then they discuss naming the baby, and the deal is if it's a girl. Rainbow, gets the name. And if it's a boy,
Anthony Anderson.
And his name Andre or something.
Yeah.
So it's a boy. And the minute he finds out, he said, oh, Devontae.
Of all the names they could have picked, though.
Oh, my God.
If you was going to go, Devontae is not the first. What had me cracking up was when every time he said Devontae, she said, so you really want to name our son after the fourth important member of Jodeci?
Yes!
I was here for that.
And he was like, no, everyone knows he's the third most important. Mr. Dalvin is the fourth.
But I was here for that shade.
And I just watched this yesterday. Names, I was cracking up.
Devontae would not be. Hell, name KC. Something. Like...
But in one of the songs, they say, Devontae sang.
Oh, shut up. Shut up.
But, so the name, and where he got the name from, because it could have just been like Devontae, and we would have all thought Jodeci, but he put it out there. No, I'm thinking Jodeci, so if there's any doubts.
So there's no doubts in your mind. I was confused about this being an issue, though, because, his name is Andre. Ethnic, not that ethnic, you really wouldn't know. So I was confused about why the names had to be, like this baby had to be a, less conventional name. You got Diane, Andre, what's the other son's name?
Zoe. The daughter is Zoe.
The daughter is Zoe, and the Diane's twin is nothing really.
I forgot what
He ain't holding up dashiki. He ain't wearing dashikis and holding up black fists. So I'm like, why would this one you want to go to the left?
Well, I guess because the issue was is that we did that intentionally with this set.
Okay.
That we had the conventional names, we wasn't name, and now we're in a different place in our life.
Right.
So, though, is it acceptable? Well, I guess it opened up that discussion. Is it now acceptable where before people did this, and I know one of our old co-workers, whatever, that she made mention that I named my children so you couldn't identify if they were male or female because when they apply for jobs and things like that. But is that an issue anymore? And I think that's what they were trying to touch on. Can you just name your kid what you want nowadays without worrying about that?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can, because even with that now, you have children who identify as one thing that they're not born.
Yes.
So, I mean, if my name is Taylor, but I identify as a he, you know what I mean? So when I show up at the interview anyway, are you going to be expecting Taylor to be a boy or a girl? You don't know. And then if I get there and you imagine a boy, you see a boy, I may still be presenting a girl. Or nowadays, you never know what you're going to get.
Exactly. But I think that it's more acceptable with that, especially now. Because, I mean, if somebody tried it and you could even just they're going to be in trouble. However, like Bo says at one point, she's like, I put up 2 identical resumes. And I think it was Michael, whatever the name was, Michael and then Devontae.
Right.
And she's like, and he only got 2 hits.
From a bail bondsman.
Exactly. And it's like, well, is this
Well, I think it goes to that same point of whether I know if you're male or female, I'm still going to know Devontae Black.
And that's what,
and it does go to, even with the other children, they're still coming up in the same world. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of a gap in ages, but will it have really changed between Diane and the twin and Devontae where, the twin will get a job that Devontae won't? There's not that big of a gap between them. The world's going to change.
I think definitely these kids are privileged, number one. So they're going to have different opportunities, but I think I love the way that they handled it. They touched on the topic that many of us have already thought about. It's like to have these.
I would have loved to hear Dre's father. Like, we didn't see him this episode.
Well, I guess he's making a movie or something because he hasn't been around.
I would have loved to hear his, because he always is more pro-black,
exactly.
But I don't know if his pro-black would have extended to name my grandchild Devontae.
Well, so Devontae just is a bad name.
It is. And I love when they was at the coffee shop and he was like, Devin wants a tea. What?
Oh my God.
What is this? And he was like, it say Devontae, man. Like, no,
but you
we
know
don't.
what the thing is, and then I thought that we were the only ethnicity that did this, that changed names to try to conform. And then we met somebody, me and the engineer Craig met somebody who said, no, I changed my name to sound more white because it gives me more opportunities and I'm allowed to demand more when I have this name, when they think that I'm this person.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, I really, because I love the way they handled this.
Oh yeah.
And then they said, okay, you know what? I'm not going to take it away from you. He could be Devontae, but we're going to name him Devontae Matthews or Michael so that he could always have a safe middle name to go by.
And I love that they didn't. What I love about the show is, just like we're having a dialogue now, it never tells you that you're right or you're wrong. It doesn't say Dre's right. It doesn't say Bo is right. It says we'll compromise, we'll come to a middle ground, but audience, decide for yourself.
And it starts a discussion.
Yeah, it starts a discussion. And maybe somebody is sitting there pregnant and thinking the same thing in their head, like, wow, maybe I really shouldn't name him Malik the Third on the, you know what I mean? Because they going to think that he's...
So, since we're having the discussion, what is your opinion about it? Really quickly.
I don't like made up names. So if I was to ever have a child, it wouldn't be a thing where, I'm going to combine my name and the father's name. And
my God.
That kind of stuff I can't deal with. I know a Kilolo. And Kilolo has a meaning in the dictionary, in the African name dictionary. It has a meaning. So that kind of thing doesn't offend me. If there's a reason that your mother picked Kilolo, maybe it means born on the Sabbath and you were born on the Sabbath and that's the correspondence, then hey, Kilolo all day.
I guess I see where you're going. Like, I mean, it's up to you. If you like the name, it's gonna be good name, bad name. People gonna like them or not like them. But I think, and I've had kids, and when I didn't have two dimes to rub together, and then I've had kids after I finished my education and had a career.
Right.
And I just never thought it was a big deal because I'm like, you shouldn't be dependent on nobody to give you anything anyway.
Right.
So if you want to go that route and you're in college and you're top of the class, let me tell you, they would be calling, they would find another black person, find out how to pronounce your name, and then call you if they wanted you. So that's my opinion.
And even to this point now, you have names. I look at some Polish names and I'm like,
huh? Exactly.
Zekishaw. So it's every ethnicity. It's not just us.
So yeah.
It's all over the place. And I've always been a thing of just, does the name mean something? It had my cousin Asia, born in a time of sorrow. She was born when an aunt in the family had passed within days of each other. Mm-hmm. You research. Now, some people think, oh, she named after the continent. No. It has a meaning. There's a purpose.
That's what I would have thought.
So I'm like, I love names like that. If it has a meaning to, and then the child can tell me. Don't just say, oh, your name, Devontae, that's so interesting. What does it mean? I'm the fourth important member of Jersey.
Third, damn it. Third, Devontae.
That better not be the damn meaning. That's what I'm saying. You could be Devontae Swing the fourth.
Well, let me tell you, actually, I picked my nephew's name from the lyrics of a Biggie song.
What?
And I told my sister.
Which lyrics? No, sing me the lyrics.
Oh my God, I don't know, because if I sing the lyrics, then everybody's gonna know who my nephew is, and I don't know if it's an issue. But I would rather get their permission, like if they want people to know I'm their aunt. But it was a Biggie song, and
he said, "Maybe I don't want nobody to know that's where my name came from."
Exactly, he might feel that type of way. I mean, but I went to the hospital to see my sister, and I was like, "You should name him this." And she was like, "You know what? I actually like part of it." Oh. So she went with it. I mean, I doubt that's where he think he got that, but trust me, it is. So before we wrap, I wanted to get into one of your recommendations last week for comedy was Powerless. Yes. So I checked it out.
Okay.
Loved the first episode. Okay. Hilarious. The second episode wasn't as funny,
right?
But it was okay. Yeah. And I think I'm in. Like you say, it's quick.
It's a half hour. It don't take much out your time. You can be doing dishes or whatever while it's on, and you'll get a laugh. You may not get a guffaw, but you will get some chuckles.
So I guess we're both of the same opinion that Blackish is the comedy that you should be watching. If you're going to watch one comedy, it should be Blackish.
And again, a half hour. It doesn't take much out of your time.
They get it done.
Yeah, if you're watching Modern Family, it's a great lead-in, but Blackish stands on its own. I think it's
Modern Family. I was all the first season. Oh my God. When the gay guys bring out the baby and they had the spotlight and they play the Lion King, I was in ever since then. Then at some point it jumped the shark.
It did.
And I just checked out. And I haven't checked back in. Yeah. But the Goldbergs, it's the Goldbergs. I like the middle.
Okay. I like the Goldbergs more than
what is the other one? It's another one with oh my God, I can't think of it now. But it's another one that comes on during that family night.
Okay.
I'm in there for and then Fresh Off the Boat, those things. I mean, I'm there for those. But so one of the things I wanted to discuss was the new shows that are coming up.
Okay.
And some of my picks on what people, that we may get into. And so Trial and Error is a new show coming on, and it's like a comedy court show.
Is that the one with John Lithgow?
Yes. Okay. Who I love.
I do love John.
Third Rock from the Sun. Yes. I've been missing him.
Most recently, The Crown. Winston Churchill, if you're a Netflixer.
Oh, yes. Shades of Blue. We discussed it. You're not here for J-Lo.
Fan. Acting. She could do all other things. Her acting leaves a lot to be desired.
I think she did a great job on the show.
Now, Ray Liotta is still very fuckable. But
Oh my God, you gotta watch the show. It's one scene
Ray Liotta
in the
can still
show
get it.
where he's in the back alley and he's getting other random acts of love from some guy in the back of an out. Oh my God, you
Yes.
gotta see that.
Oh,
one.
I may have to tune into that episode.
Blacklist Redemption.
I was here for Blacklist, the first one,
Mhm.
and then it jumped the shark.
It did, but then it came back.
It did, but
It
it couldn't
popped
bring
back
me
over that
It
shark.
couldn't bring me back in. But I'm here for redemption because I always had a thing for the husband. I like the husband's
him,
character,
yes.
and I'm here for Jimka. I think is the female that he's linking up with.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm here for it.
Oh, okay, so
I'm
then
here
that's
for it.
definitely
Yes.
getting a star.
Yes.
Shots Fired. When I was watching 24-Hour Legacy
Okay.
on demand, I saw the commercial, and it's coming in March. It stars Sanaa Lathan and Mac Wiles. And they're basically, I believe they're going to New Orleans or one of these states, and they're going to be
Yeah.
the DOJ.
Yeah, and it looks like it's Mac Wiles is a sheriff and shoots a unarmed white kid.
Oh, so the reverse.
Yes, but it seems to also going to expound on the racism in the department that he experienced. So it'll be telling two sides of it, I guess. His
So let's
life
give
on
it
the
a
street.
shot.
I'll give it a shot. Sanaa Lathan is a boo, so I'll give her a shot. I love Mac Wiles.
I do. I love
so,
Mac Wiles.
yes.
Ever since the
So
Wire.
I will give it a shot.
Oh my God.
Just for you listeners.
So, and then my other pick that's coming. Now this one isn't a show.
Okay.
It's a movie.
Okay.
It's
I'm
gonna
here
be
for the
on
movies.
Lifetime.
Wait, stop right there. Is
Britney
it?
Spears. We gotta watch it because it's gonna be a train wreck. We must.
Who's playing Justin Timberlake? This is the questions I need
I
answers
don't
right
know,
now.
but
Because if they got Chris Brown, you know they ain't gonna get it right. You know they not gonna get it right.
they got the kid from Everybody Hates Chris.
Stop it. Stop right now. You know, once you said Lifetime, I'm here for the questionable casting alone.
Oh my God!
Because that Aaliyah movie will live on in infamy.
We have decided not to speak upon. We just gonna act like that didn't exist.
No.
I
Because
refuse to acknowledge.
BET has just laid it out for you. This is how you do a documentary. So now maybe Lifetime need to call up the people that did New Edition and say, "Hey, could we get your ideas on this casting?
Like,
what you
can you
feel
help
about
us?
this lineup right here?" Because Kevin
Yeah.
Federline will be played by Mac Wiles. It'll just be all over the place. So I'm here for the train wreck that is Leave Britney Alone.
Oh no!
I'm here for it.
We gotta watch that one because
I'm
if
here
nothing
for
else
it.
is gonna be entertaining.
It's
So
okay.
then, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Well, I only got one really, and it's an oldie, and this is its last season. But if you're a fan of the Tudors, if you're a fan of history, but maybe being told with a little bit of a twist, there's a show on the CW. I don't know why I love the CW.
CW, I see.
It's just it takes me back to my Buffy the Vampire Slayer childhood. But Reign, it's the story of Mary of Scotland. She marries the King of France. He was prince at the time. She married the prince. He becomes king. And if you know a little bit about history, her story does not end very well. So we're coming into our final season, and if you've never watched the show, yes, you do have a little catching up to do because this is season 4. But I highly, highly recommend it. It gives you some, it makes it contemporary in that you'll hear music you know now. And even to the point where when they're having parties and they're playing these old instruments, you'll be like, is that Britney that they playing?
So they'll make it
they
current
make it
and
current,
relevant.
they make
Okay.
it relevant. It's, little underage sex, because all of these
Yes.
kings and queens back then was like 16, 15, and having children and a little espionage, murder. What's murder amongst friends? So it brings you in it. If you are familiar with the Tudors and Showtime, it's that kind of feel where it's just so good, and I recommend it to anyone. I love it, and it came back on Friday night was the new season started. But there is a lot of catching up to do, but I'm not going to say you can jump right in because there has been a lot of history that's transpired.
So how many episodes we need to binge?
I would say at least the last season, just so you know what's
a whole
going
season. Oh, girl, I'm out because you know why? Like maybe during the off season, I can do it. But
once it's done, once it's done as a whole, you can binge it.
Okay.
But if any of our listeners have been watching it, that's my pick for It's Coming Back. And I'm gonna give it a little twist. I have a show that you should stop watching right now, as of today, and that is Sleepy Hollow. We are no longer co-signing this show. They got rid of our girl Abby Mills, and you really expect us to care about this now? You bring in this fake Abby. The sister is still there, who I love. She has immaculate eyebrows, but she was not what I was there for in the beginning. And it just is not the same show without Abby, and I refuse to tune back in. I'm recommending that you two no longer waste your time.
So I wanted to do something where basically we give our listeners that if they don't have the hours upon hours like we do, that I think 2 is low, 2 hours of TV. So I'm going to say 2.5.
2, you need to step up your game. Really.
Exactly. Like put the kid down, put him in a playpen.
A little Benadryl at night, it does wonders.
Throw a hot dog to your husband. Don't cook dinner. You got to get this done. So if I only have 2.5 hours of time to watch TV, what are your picks?
This week, Walking Dead is definitely my 1 hour. Definitely. I don't understand the Negan hate that my man Jeffrey Dean Morgan is getting.
We'll talk about that next week.
Okay, we'll talk about that next week. But definitely the returning Walking Dead. I'm here for it. And Flash, Gorilla City is back. I need that in my life. And for my half hour, you're going to be questioning my decision here. But girls, I'm here for it. I love it. I love Adam. HBO? Yes. I love Hannah. I love these white girls who have nothing that I identify with, just being messy and sloppy with their vaginas and everything. I'm here for it. So that's my 2.5 hours. That's my 2.5 hours. What you got?
So for me, Walking Dead.
Yes.
Because I'm a geek, comics, I'm all in, and yeah, Walking Dead. If you're not going to watch, you might as well not even talk to me next week. And 24-Hour Legacy. I'm a believer. I mean, if I don't watch anything else, I would be watching Walking Dead, 24-Hour Legacy, and for my half hour, because I'm going to have to do, you know what? I'm going to go with Jeopardy this week. I would have to watch Jeopardy. I mean, they just had the Tournament of Champions. Like, I don't know, just catch up on some. Just to throw that out there.
I'm good with that because I do love Jeopardy. I still love it. Alex Trebek and his corny ass jokes. I'm still here for him.
So that's my 2.5 hours. Like it's my must watch.
Yes.
All right. So I guess we're about to get out of here.
Signing off. Don't forget to watch Billions. Also, we'll talk about it next week, so you'll be ready.
Yes. And the Grammys tonight.
The Grammys tonight.
We're definitely gonna.
I need to see Bruno Mars in the Prince tribute. So yeah, I'm here for that.
And I like this guy, but I hope he doesn't go so far.
Corbin?
James, yes.
He's a music lover.
Annoying sometimes with it. I was about to say. So
he's a music lover, and I like that he loves all genres of music.
Yes.
But yeah, he does get annoying
as sometimes. And they say he's not going to sing, so hopefully that'll bring down the annoyance factor.
Now I'm not sure how I feel about that because he's famous for the karaoke in cars. So I think he should do at least the opening act where he's like driving to the Grammys and picks up all these famous people along the way, and we doing a sing along to the Grammys.
But didn't they do that with the Emmys with Jimmy Fallon? Wasn't it something?
Wasn't it in the cars? It was like they were coming in the red carpet, but
they were. He was in a limo, and he got stuck.
Every episode when he has a singer on, they do in the car karaoke with him. So I think he has to do something.
See, I would be here for that, but from what I understand is that he's saying he's not going to sing. So we'll have to see.
We'll see
how that goes.
I'm here for the opening and closing acts for sure, but then I have to take my eyes open so I can watch Walking Dead.
Oh no, I'm watching Walking Dead. I don't give up. Well, let me tell you, some days, especially since Negan's back, I mean, when Negan came, I had to watch Walking Dead like in the daytime with the lights on, with like to make sure ain't nobody around here with a fucking bat with barbed wire. I mean, I don't know. It was getting really spooky.
Yeah.
So maybe, but I hate when somebody, and if anybody post anything about fucking Walking Dead until Monday morning, I'm unfollowing you. That's it. You're done. You're dead to me. Because, like, no, you're dead to me. Like, give us a chance to watch it. Don't do that.
Okay, but see now,
I don't go on Twitter.
Oh, I was just about to say
and look for, because I'm like,
Black Twitter is here for a live tweet forever.
Exactly. I know.
So there'll be live tweeting and all this stuff and all that during the episode.
But if you're on Facebook, that means you're taking the time. So if you're on Twitter, you're like in the moment.
Right.
But if you're on Facebook, you had time to think about it. You had time to check your grammar, your spelling, everything. And you fucking spoiled the show. Like, you're dead to me. I'm just saying that. Okay.
Yeah. I got you.
So, you want to give them your...
This is Notorious FPG. Follow me on Twitter. Facebook, we don't do that around here no more. That's for suckers. And we like Instagram. And hit me up if you have any suggestions about stuff I should be watching or any questions about why I'm choosing the stuff to watch that I do.
Okay, and I'm here. I'm on Twitter at JMO About It All. You can leave some comments on the YouTube video, and you can hit us up on Twitter if you have any suggestions of shows that we should watch, or if you don't agree with our opinions about the shows that we do watch. We're here for it all. Okay? Life of a TV Addict, episode 2.
Out.